I have been using gstack for weeks now, and when I first looked at the repo, I was like, this is just a bunch of markdown files. And this is exactly, I think most people miss the point because they think it's the markdown file that is the product, but instead, it's the workflows inside those files that is the product. And if you are somebody who is building software using AI, then it matters the most now because AI can write code. The real problem is if it can help you ship the right product, test it out thoroughly, and do all of it without creating a mess. And this is where gstack fits, right? And most people just skip this part. So let's dive straight into it. Let's start with the basics. First, let's understand what is GStack. So GStack is an open source toolkit by Garry Tan, who is the president and CEO of Y Combinator. And to explain it very simply, GStack turns your coding agent into a small product team. What I mean by that is instead of just having one general AI assistant which does everything for you, GStack turns it into different roles like YC office partner, engineering manager, CEO reviewer, security lead, designers, technical writers, and QAs. So it's no longer one assistant who is trying to be smart about everything at once. Instead, it is a workflow where AI is looking at the product from different angles. And this is what makes GStack actually useful. Having understood what GStack is, now let's see why this actually matters. So, with AI, the cost of writing code has drastically come down, but what is still expensive is the judgment and taste. So, let's say you build a feature with AI, but how do you know if that is the right feature, if that has been tested, if the UI is good enough? And it's very easy to build wrong things nowadays so quickly. So that's where GStack will actually come into picture because it tries to make all of these questions as part of the default workflow. It just operates like how a senior architect would do. You have to think, plan, then build it out. Once it's built out, you review it, then you test it, and then you ship it at the end. And I feel with AI, all of us are so busy in shipping fast that even these obvious steps, we miss them most of the time. So GStack is something that will make these obvious steps as part of your workflow. If you're getting started with GStack, the first skill that you must definitely try is the office hours. This is the YC style product thinking skill. This is important because with AI, the biggest mistake is not that it writes bad codes, but it is that it ships the wrong products very confidently. And this skill called office hours is meant to slow you down when that happens. So instead of going directly to how do we build this, it asks you questions regarding why you want to build this, what problem are you going to solve. What I'm trying to say here is a very good idea can turn into a bad implementation if the plan that we have is not so accurate. After office hours, the next phase is planning. So there are different skills here. The first skill is plan CEO review. This is from the CEO or the founder's perspective, and this actually forces you to think big enough. This forces you to think if you are building the most obvious thing or there is something being hidden in the problem itself. The next skill for planning is plan inch review. This is from the perspective of an engineer manager or a technical lead. This will help you look at the architecture, the boundary condition, the test, and everything that you might overlook when designing something from the technical point of view. And this skill is really underrated because when you create the diagrams and flowcharts in the starting, it is so easy for AI to ensure that all of that is being followed along and not missed. If you're someone who doesn't want to review manually, then there's a skill for you. It's called autoplan. So, as you can see, this is the review pipeline. And this is one of the reasons why GStack is powerful because it makes your AI think even before writing a single line of code. If you remember one thing from this video, let it be this. So GStack is not helpful because it helps you write more lines of code. It is helpful because it makes you trust this AI written code less before it has been tested. As all of you know, the issue with the AI generated code that it will give you an assumption that it's working. If you look at it at a glance, it will make certain tests pass. But when you actually open the front end, click certain buttons, you will see things are not working or maybe certain things are broken. This is why these two skills called QA and browse matters a lot. With this skill called browse, as the name suggests, you're giving your agent a real Chromium browser. So you can actually open pages, click buttons, test workflows, and take screenshots like how an actual user would use the app. The other skill called QA will actually test your app. It will find bugs and fix them. And once it is fixed, it will re-verify them. For every fix it is doing, it will make sure to add regression. And this is the actual difference between vibe coding and shipping something. The other skill worth noting is called review. And this is from a staff engineer's perspective. It will find bugs that your CI CD pipeline will think are passing but can blow up in production actually. So the workflow is you will make the AI generate code and then ask the AI to verify it, but you keep yourself in between the loop for the taste and the judgment. Having understood the planning phase, now let's move on. So we have a skill called ship, which will be like a release engineer. So it will sync your main, it will run tests and open up PRs. And then there's another skill that will also act as a release engineer, which is called land and deploy. So basically, once your PR has been approved, it will merge them, it will wait for the CI, and then once the CI passes, it will deploy them on production. So this one skill will take you from the PR approved state to the production verified state. This CSO skill is the security pass, and the design review skill is like a visual QA. And lastly, the skill called document release will update your documents after the product has been changed. So here I've talked about the most essential skills that you need to know. Feel free to look at the skills.md where all the skills are being listed. Okay, now let's talk about how can you get started. So it's very easy to do the installation. The instructions are given in the README file and it will hardly take 30 seconds. So once you have installed gstack, open up a real product that you have been building and run this QA skill on it. And if let's say you have an idea that you want to actually build, then run it with office hours and see the difference yourself. This is what I wanted to cover about GStack. I hope it is useful and do give it a shot. One thing worth noting is whenever we are building stuff with AI, it is us who is having the taste and the judgment. It is up to you to decide what is looking good. Don't let AI take that control away from you. I feel the next unlock in the AI space would be building the right products, testing it thoroughly, and shipping things with enough confidence that AI is doing stuff correctly without you looking at it. So, super exciting times to be alive. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.